Man, that was a good sip. What's up, everybody? After show is back. We got episode 9. Foate the Goat, Kristin and Lindsay. Lindsay's rocking the Dallas Cowboys fit. I see you. Is there like an occasion that you put that on, or are you just rocking them? Like,
my husband is a huge fan, so I'm just bringing it back out. I have my last name on the back of my jersey, sort of thing. College football, NFL football is approaching, so get in the mood.
No, I 100% feel that. Kristin, what's up? Are you getting ready too? Like, are you gonna join the club or not really?
No. Listen. My Broncos are in a rebuilding tenure, apparently. So I just sit on the sidelines and cheer for them. And they did good in the preseason. I mean, maybe that's a sign. Probably not, but you know.
You're telling me I married a Cowboys fan.
I mean, I'm sorry about your luck. That was already bad. But yeah.
I mean, I've poured some vodka because what an episode. I mean, holy cow. We hit the semifinals here, and I mean, it got juicy, man. Like, these people are 100% either emotionally in tune with this game or they are strategically trying to figure out how the hell they can get to the end. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but there were some interesting choices tonight that I'm really excited to talk about.
Yeah, I think for once, I feel like we've been led, like, obviously whoever gets picked, we know exactly what the order is going to be at that point. With this one, it felt a little bit like, are they going to stick to their word? Are they going to do what they've been normally doing? So I like that we were able to kind of not really know what was going to happen until they actually did it. So that was a fun thing.
I agree. I thought it was a fun format. I'm excited to talk to you guys about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a few important things right before the challenge that happened that kind of got us into the trend set of this episode. And the main one that I remember is the Derek and Amanda talk where Derek's like, listen, I think we're in trouble. Amanda's like, yeah, I'm feeling it too. But we get a lot out of Amanda this episode. Like, we are finding out that she's been playing, very hard middle, trying to find, the emotional attachment to everyone, mostly McLean, it sounds like, where, I mean, in the actual like episode of her talking, she's like, telling her real things, but in the sidelines in the confessional, she's more like, yeah, I'm just, telling her what my trauma is so that we can bond.
Trauma bonding, it's a real thing.
I'm like, Amanda, girl, all right, next villain of this episode, like, holy cow, I love it.
But I brought this up to you, Austin, too, when we were watching, is like, I said this a couple episodes ago with Amanda, like, at least Derek was starting to, like, branch out and get this whole Brett situation going on. She really was not doing much until the last couple episodes. We saw her somewhat hanging out with Mac, but, like, McLean's off with Jack all the time. They have each other, you know what I mean? So this is, like, just a hey, how's it going kind of situation. And now with this whole, like, we're in trouble, she's sitting there like, I'm going to go trauma bond, which, like, quickest way to somebody's heart is to trauma bond. Like, I mean, I'm here for it. Like, and the fact that she was using that strategically is smart, but, like, I mean, I like hearing their stories too, but I think this was something you should have been doing, a couple weeks ago.
I agree.
Well, we end up finding out what John gives, or, I'll repeat that, how he gives an advantage or a disadvantage here. And they all come in, and we find out it's Frankie. And Frankie's like, God damn, I really hope it's green out of that box. Obviously it is. So Frankie ends up getting John's advantage. And they pretty much go right into the challenge here. At probably the quickest challenge, like, entry I've seen yet. But, I mean, I guess a lot of the juice happens after, right? So
yeah.
We kind of go right into it, and everyone's like, what in the hell is this shit show that we're looking at? And they all just see, like, dog collar shock, like, collars just sitting there waiting for them to get put on. And Jim's like, yeah, we're about to have some fun, y'all. We're basically saying, who said, I think it was Brett, who was like, listen, I think this is roulette, like some roulette, Russian roulette. I was like, oh, yeah. This is definitely Russian roulette in a way.
I mean, can we talk about the fact that Jim Jeffries he's the, like, real sadistic person out of this entire show? He's just, like, living for this enjoyment. I mean, they're about to shock the shit out of each other. Like, and he's up there like, I mean, take off your blindfold. He doesn't care at all.
Yeah. To be honest with you guys, I was like, let's fucking go. I'd play this game. What were your thoughts? I was like, let's go.
I mean, low key, they've been torturing this cast all fucking season. So I mean, let's go for it, right? Let's just keep the ante going. I mean, they've been swimming through sewage water practically, and now they're just basically murdering each other with shockwaves. So I mean,
well, I would like to point out that I have said I would sit out of pretty much all of these challenges because I 100% would have. But we have somebody that stood up and said, absolutely not. And that was my boy Frank giving up his advantage in this challenge. Listen, I'm all for it because like I would have sat out of all of these challenges. Literally all of these challenges I would have sat out of. With the advantage, I don't like, especially not knowing that. I mean, I give Frank a lot of props here because he even says in his confession, like, I could have just cost myself $100,000. You like, that's a huge risk this late in the game. And so for him to stand by his morals and like his heart and stuff and being like, my mother would kill me. Like, absolutely not. For him to stand up, stand to that this late in the game, like that shows like a true heart of somebody, right? Like this, like money can make people evil. And I think that this showed Frank that is the Frank that we've been seeing all season. So kudos to Frank.
Yeah, he's a pure heart of the show. And then strategically, we've seen that disadvantages seem to work better than advantages. So if Frank didn't feel comfortable and he had an advantage, doesn't seem as good to me as a disadvantage. So it made total sense for me that Frank chose to do that.
yeah, I think I might be on the other side of this. I was kind of disappointed that he kind of jumped out. I was like, oh, okay, I guess, I get it. Morals, kudos for you. But I was kind of feeling how Brett was. I was almost kind of like, oh, next one. You know what I mean? Another one bit the dust. I'm trying to get the snake. So, I mean, kudos. Keep the morals. But, damn, this is a show, man. I don't know. I'm just glad, like, how the tables happened. But, yeah. Frank is the first one to withdraw. And then we have the final 7. Mm-hmm. And I mean, let's go down the list. So we got McLean who gets picked first, and she's already like crying as she's taking the goddamn blindfold off. So I was like, oh yeah, she's screwed.
Yeah.
But I honestly think, honestly with her emotion that she would like, because even we'd seen before Frank had bowed out, she was having like conflictions with this as well. And Jack was like, it's okay, I've got you then, if that's what happens. But she was just more so like, let me get the F out of here as quickly as possible. So I will make myself look as guilty as possible, which is what she did. She literally was not hiding it, but she shocked the shit out of it, Derek, and then was like, I'm sorry, Derek. That's basically what she said without even saying it. So,
and I don't think those were fake tears. I think she's really feeling that emotion. She just made me want to give her a hug because you could see it on her face.
Well, Frank did. He gave a very good hug over there on the sidelines.
Yeah. And I get it, man. That looked scary. I mean, I know I'm sitting from the sidelines, and I'm like, I would have, played. I would have played. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm there for the money too. But like, holy shit, that would have gotten me feeling a little something. Like, oh my god, I'm blindfolded. I'm gonna get randomly shocked at some point. Like, oh boy.
So, another reason why I said I would not do this one is, I've had a shock collar for my pets before, and I have put it on my arm. Because I love my animals and I never want to inflict pain on them, but sometimes they need shock to shut the hell up. But I was like, let me test this out before I use it. And I did it on my arm, not even on my neck. Okay. I did it on my arm. I got some chunky arms here. That shit hurt. To the point where I did not put it on my animals. And so I can't even imagine the feeling around your neck, like that sensitive. No. So this is another reason why I'm like, I'm with Frank and I'm with McLean. So I would sit on the sidelines with him.
I mean, that's fair. And don't worry, Kristin, I would have shocked Austin first. I'm too afraid of you.
And who knows who I would have guessed? I mean, I might have guessed Kristin. Who knows?
You probably would have. It would never be Lindsay.
Right?
Kristin's
not
evil.
the same.
So, I mean, we start getting down to the nitty gritty. Derek ends up choosing Jack, and he thinks it's Alyssa, so Jack ends up getting the boot. Jordan chooses Derek, also chooses Alyssa, so Derek's out. I mean, everyone just started picking Alyssa here, so
well, I mean, the main one you got to mention though, because this is a hot topic afterwards, is Brett picking Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Alyssa being picked yet again. Because what guy in their right mind would ever pick a female like that? How dare you, Brett?
Yeah, Brett, such a bad boy, man. I swear to God.
My husband told me he would have shocked me to win.
I mean, I think that a lot of people, which we're gonna see once like we get out of this challenge, this next section here, Amanda's really hyping this up, and for good reason. She's wanting sympathy here, but I honestly don't think that. I mean, it's a game and it's a challenge, right? And I don't think anybody really had an issue with it until they like heard Amanda really like honing in on this. So I don't think anybody really was upset. And Brett, none of us are upset with you because I would have shocked anybody to get $100,000. So.
And Brett, buddy, I was snapping and giving you lots of bonus points during this episode. Let me just come out and say that because this was the first like move up that I've seen you do in a few episodes. So, going for Amanda, I mean, everyone, was giving you a little bit of shit afterwards. It looked like on the episode, but my God, was that a good play? Because, I mean, she had no idea. And, I mean, you ended up winning the snake because you were able to pull it off. So, I mean, kudos to you. And we ended up getting to, I think it's Alyssa chooses Brett. And then Alyssa, how do I rate this? No, Jordan wins, and then Brett wins. So, yeah, Alyssa chooses
Brett. No,
Brett.
she does.
Brett.
And Brett.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Alyssa obviously goes out, and it ends up being those two. Alyssa, you were kind of killing it with the fake. I mean, they were real. You were nervous as fuck, but everyone thought they were fake, and it was kind of funny because it's like one of those strategies that kind of just happened. Like, oh fuck, I was just in the moment shaky, and everyone just thinks I'm guilty.
I don't even know if they necessarily thought they were fake because, like, I think obviously her emotion was very real, and I think that they took her emotion for everyone. She's obviously a very empathetic person. Her emotion for everyone related to guilt somehow, but I think that with the three that were left, I think Alyssa choosing Brett kind of sealed her fate. I would have maybe gone with Jordan if I wanted to be safe there and have the snake, but yeah, I mean, either way, it somewhat worked out.
Yeah, I was wondering if Alyssa had an unfair advantage going last from what we saw from the production and the edit. Like, everyone else has been, the one go for it already, and she's already been targeted. And from what we saw, she was the last person to get to shock, so it seemed kind of obvious. Oh, you're the only one who hasn't played.
Yeah. And what's funny about that is I'm pretty sure Jim was like randomly picking the names, so it just kind of worked out against her favor, right? That she ended up just being the last one. And then, I mean, the other two didn't know in theory, right? But just because everyone's been guessing Alyssa and they've been getting wrong, it kind of just, Brett kind of just like, okay, I know. So.
Yeah, I mean, because, none of them, he tapped them randomly and things like that. But, like, Brett got shocked twice. Jordan never got shocked either. So, like, just because Alyssa didn't get shocked didn't mean that she was the one that's doing it. So, yeah, I think that, like, that's kind of where I would have maybe made a different, and Alyssa could have been screwed either way just because of how the cookie crumbled, but I maybe would have been like, Brett's going to obviously know it's me, so let me go with Jordan real quick.
I agree.
Yeah.
So we kind of get to the juice of the episode, and now Jordan and Brett have to figure out who the hell they're going to put up, because this is a double-headed snake, which means we're getting two people sent home. So we are going from 8 to 6 here. They are on both, most opposite sides of this damn house. So they have to really figure out how the hell they're going to keep, at least two of their own people. You know what I mean? So that's literally the first thing that Jordan pitches. Like, listen, we both know we don't want to keep so-and-so. Let's just keep two people, per person, and just let's get out of this. And at first, Brett's like, yeah, I'm down with it. But obviously, they start to scramble. And Jordan's like pitching it to Frankie, like, listen, let's do it. Like, Brett's cool with it. Well, Brett has a different plan. Brett wants to save Derek so that Derek saves Jack. and that Brett basically gets, whatever he wants out of this one, because this is his first one. This is
Listen, Brett, I love you, but like, just because you haven't won before doesn't mean you get to call the shots here. It's a dual snake for a reason, okay? He also, like, later on is like, she didn't get shocked, so she's gonna have to deal with it. Okay, again, cookie crumbled here, Brett. Sorry about your luck. But I do love that even Frank, like, I mean, all of them are, because of this kind of tension, but like love factor that's going around in this house, everybody does not trust anybody. So like, even Frank's like, Alyssa, are you okay if I do this? And she's like, I mean, I guess. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. But like, that's the thing, is any way this goes, and which is what was great for us as viewers, not really figuring out where this order was going to go for once, is to be like, are they actually going to follow through with this?
That's a good point.
So basically, we end up getting a lot more Amanda screen time here. I mean, Amanda starts to really hone into the, oh my God, I think it's Derek or Brett. Like, one of these two, shocked me, and she's bawling her eyes out to everyone. I mean, I was kudosing Amanda all over the place, because, my God, we're starting to see people work their charms. And she's going from full-out devastation in the face to confessional, like, yeah, so, like, literally just 100% honed in. And, I mean, I 100% am with that, Amanda, because you kind of have to do that if you're playing, like, such a middle game like you're kind of playing in, right? Because you even say it at one point, Derek's my number one, and he's kind of like one of your only allies, because everyone else is kind of just, aligned. Like, yeah, maybe McLean's, more aligned than everyone else to you, but you know what I mean? You know what I'm getting to. So she's having to do her work, and I mean, she's working Brett there. Like, she's basically saying, hey, I accept your apology. I mean, what do you guys think about Amanda's emotional ties here? I mean, do you think anyone was even buying it, or were they even caring because she's in the middle? I mean, let's hear what you guys got to say.
I'm going to let Lindsay go first.
I was about to say the same thing to you. I'm not sure if anyone bought it, but as an audience member, I was loving it. I was cheering you on, Amanda. I was like, okay, this is great. I'm loving your confessionals. I'm going to go back to you having the tears in the audience. Like, I was really enjoying it as an audience member. I'm not sure how many people actually bought it, though.
Yeah, I think, again, like I brought this up, I think this was a little too late. She should have been doing this a couple weeks ago. But from somebody that actually did what Amanda did in an online game, that's not the stake, but in an online game of Big Brother, with me playing the middle, got caught up very quickly in that. And I was thrown to the wolves of going up on the block without a veto option. And so what I did is I pulled out the waterworks and cried and cried and cried and made people feel so terrible that I somehow came out of that. So kudos, Amanda. that does work. It does work. This is how people get out of tickets. Pull out the waterworks, y'all. She's not stupid.
It's been working for her the past few episodes. I mean, yeah, it's been Derek kind of saving her ass, but I mean, like, she's had connections earlier on this season because of, her emotional ties with different individuals. So, I mean, I totally get it.
The one thing I wanted to point out here in this section, I thought was really interesting too, is that, again, everybody kind of has their own plan happening here, right? So, like, Jordan's got this plan, like, 2 and 2, like, and then we decide at the end, like, whatever, we'll split the difference. And then Brett's like, no, I got this great plan. We're going to do this. And then we're going to flip it. But then, Derek's going to do this. And then it, lo and behold, is Brett, and that it's Derek's plan. But then Derek tells another plan to Brett, but then he goes to Amanda and he's like, but there's an actual, I'm like, there's so many plans. I can't wrap my head around what's happening here. So there was a lot of, and again, I think this made it really fun for us this time, where we've seen how this list has gone. And this was just like, what is actually going to happen? What's going to go down?
Exactly. Which of the 3 coups are going to work best? I'm excited to see.
And I mean, it comes to a point where all these plans are great and all, but what is going to be best for Derek's game moving forward? Because he knows this game's about to end. Does he take a deep shot and just keep saving the same person that not everyone's close with? Or does he start to kindle that boys relationship that, is pretty good right now? So if he keeps it going, he's going to go farther. So all these plans are kind of hitting him, and he's gonna have to make a decision because, I mean, at this point we know he's getting picked at some point, so he knows it in the back of his head. Oh, I have plan A, B, and C. Which one am I gonna pick?
Right. I mean, I also love. I mean, Brett's got some. We've seen Brett and Derek really shine through in this episode, which I really appreciated. Because we don't we see little bits and pieces of them, but these are two very smart individuals. Like they are completely very smart. They're not just like these bros. They're not, you know what I mean? Like they're actually got really strategic minds, which I love to see. Because even Brett comes in and Jordan's sitting there having a whole powwow in the snake lair, and she's like, "Oh, perfect, come on in. I'm informing everybody." He's like, "No, can everybody get out? I have to talk to the actual person I need to talk to." So like Brett, again, this was like someone kind of trying to alienate her a little bit to be like, "No, we're not gonna have a group discussion on this. This has nothing to do with you guys. You'll figure it out at the freaking snake, whatever tower." But I mean, he even says too, like, I mean, it makes sense for us to have two people safe, but I mean, maybe I just take over and strong harm her at the freaking ceremony. And I'm like, I mean, what is she going to do at this point? You know what I mean? Because we don't see what the consequences would be. What if they don't agree? Because like you heard Jim ask them, like, did you both agree to this? What happens if they didn't? We will never know that. So, I mean, it's an interesting thing to see not only Derek having like 3 different plans, but Brett having 3 different plans as well.
Yeah, I was proud of Brett for having 3 different plans. I was really excited to see this because I feel like we have not really seen as much strategy beforehand, probably just like that and everything. And I really liked how he went about it because he's very much willing to strong harm her if he wanted to, sort of thing. And he's really thinking about what's best for his game and can I let somebody else take the blame if it doesn't go my way. So I thought that was a great move.
Yeah.
Well, to your point too, Austin, with Derek though, like this is like a do or die situation for him. So he does need to have several plans, like thinking out, because you can't, like Amanda has got nobody. And we said this a long time ago, like when you have just like one person and it comes down push or shove, are they going to pick you or are they going to like save face with the house? Because they're going to need other people to have their back too. So this really, I feel for Derek in this moment because, you know, you really want to have that number one person that you can put full trust in, especially in a game like the Snake, but like, is it going to benefit you long term? So I do love that Derek was really thinking things out too, like you were talking about.
Yeah, Derek and Brett both needed to have an episode like this because, I mean, we've seen certain players kind of shine. Like Jack's been kind of a shining, you know, more star than Brett has in certain episodes. Or we just seen Jack and McLean really only get like one little edit this episode, and it was, you know, McLean again showing her love for Jack, but we got a lot of Amanda here, we get a lot of Brett here, and we get a lot of Derek here, and I think those were the 3 that, you know, really needed to figure out what the hell they're going to do this episode because it was very important on this episode, setting themselves up for the finale. And I think in reality, the only reason why we didn't see a lot of Frankie is obviously because he ends up being the first one picked here coming up on the ceremony, where it actually ends up being more of Jordan's say than Brett's here, where, you know, Jordan's been pushing Frankie from the first combo they had. Like, listen, Frankie's going to do exactly what we want, so don't worry. Brett must have finally been like, okay, like I get where you're saying with Derek. Just as long as Frankie picks Derek, I don't care, which was kind of his inkling, I think, right before the ceremony. He goes, as long as my boy's fine, I don't give a shit. So, I mean, I think Jordan finally got her way there.
But also I think of it too is know when to fight your battles, right? Like, I mean, because if for whatever reason Frank doesn't do this, then he's like, I gave that to you. Now you got to do what I want in the, like down here in the snake pit of who we're going to slave. You know what I mean? So I think that was not just Jordan getting her way here. I think that this was, again, Brett using this like strategic brain that's like, where is this? I mean, we knew it was there, but we needed to see it in like the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
But this was him being like, all right, I'm going to let you have this one. But when Frank messes this one up, I've got the leverage then. You don't have any leverage for me later on. So it's a gamble for sure, but he knew at least somewhere along the road, one of his boys was going to end up in that, or at least he hoped, in that pedestal. So. Yeah,
Lindsay, do you have anything you want to bring up before I head into the actual ceremony, or are we good to go?
Let's go for it. Ceremony.
So obviously I already said a little bit ago, but Frankie ends up getting picked, and Frankie does stay to his word and ends up picking Derek. I don't know why Brett was on the mind so much. Probably because I'm about to talk about it some more.
Love your boy, Brett.
I know. He might be my couple or my duo of the week. So Brett. But so Derek ends up having to pick someone here, and I was trying to think about how I wanted to say this, but obviously he's back to his plans. He has certain options. Amanda's sitting in the pit. She's like, obviously he's picking me. This would be stupid if he doesn't, because he's done it the past 2 times, and we're number ones. And then you got Jack and McLean. We're kind of like, hang in there. We got this still. Like, chillax. Like, we got this. And we get this whole spiel right after the commercial break with Derek going, my kid's watching me. She, would really, want me to stay loyal and truthful. So I'm going to do it. And I'm going to pick Jack, which I think was the best movie he could have made in that moment. I don't know about you guys, but he really solidifies, a number that's actually 100% moving forward, not just one that's, still in the pit and then half the house doesn't even want anymore. So what did you guys think about Derek's pick here to keep Jack?
Lindsay, you go first.
I thought it was a good decision because it just confirms his loyalty to Jack, but even more than so, his duo with Brett. He's doing what the Snakes wanted to do, and he's just following that lead, and there's only so many people left. There's whatever we see the last episode next week, how many challenges. He's solidifying his numbers and proving his loyalty, which I think is going to help him when we go to the finale next week.
Yeah. I think that this part got me a little bit emotional for Derek, because as a parent, I mean, we know that his little girl, we saw from the video, she's just turning 1, and like how hard this is to be away from her. She's 1. She doesn't care if you're being loyal right now. She doesn't even know what you're doing right now. She just, you know what I mean? But I think for him to think long term, like when my daughter ever gets old enough and pulls up this random thing that Dad was on, is she going to like what she sees? And I think that's, I mean, for me as a parent, I've only ever been like, if I ever get on the show, all I want to do is make my kids proud. I want to make my kids proud and believe in me and see that I'm this like person, their hero, all these things. And so it really made me emotional for Derek in this moment, because again, he knows that Amanda and him are tight. Like, he has to believe in these things that he's put a little bit of work into, and he has to kind of take the risk, which I think this risk is better for him in the long run, because he has more options than just Amanda. But I could tell that was the turmoil, but like to bring in like that parent thing, even like she's 1, she has zero idea what's happening, but like that's a later on down the road. Hilarious.
Did you guys see that?
I did. Whatever.
This comment, childless cat ladies. That was cracking me up earlier.
Anyway.
But no, I 100% agree, because like if my mom was on there, I'm sure she would have, some sort of relation to me, because she knows I love these type of shows. She's always known I've been the type of person that's always going to go gun-ho, try my hardest. So I'm sure, in the parents' mind, they're always thinking about their kids. Like, what the hell do they want, to look at me like? And I'm sure, that was popping in his head. And he was like, yeah, I know the strategy part of this is probably the best also to go this route. I love Amanda, but I mean, I want to make an example for my kids. So I'm going to do like what's best for my game and not my emotion. You know what I mean? So definitely a good game move, and also just a good move in general. I mean, it was the correct move to make. Unfortunately, Amanda had to suffer, but that pretty much leaves us with 3 in the pit though, because there's only 8 left. So there's 3, 2 have to go. We get Amanda, McLean, and Alyssa in the pit, and they all get their little pleas. They get to say why they should pick me. And I mean, I'm not gonna go one by one, because they all had pretty good, they actually had pretty good pitches. I mean, Alyssa,
they were badass speeches. I'm sorry, those were 3 queens sitting there, and for very different reasons. Like, I mean, we could spend probably a whole nother show talking about each one of their individual speeches and like who they are as their backgrounds. But I hung on every word. Like, all 3 of them were very much queen, kill it, chef's kiss. Like, those were badass speeches.
think they're probably the three best of the whole season, and all three of them made me emotionally tied to them and cared about their stories. I don't know how everyone sitting there seeing in real person was feeling, because I was feeling it through the TV screen. Great job, all three of you ladies.
Yeah, like they put it on the line, basically, all three of them. They told them exactly why they needed to be there, what they're fighting for. I mean, very, very good speeches, because I'm sure some of them, they were, last second thoughts, but I'm sure they were prepping at some level, but goddamn, that was good.
Yeah. I mean, and not only are they like providing these amazing speeches, but then we get this like even a little battle in here too, that not only is it a battle from the pit, we're getting the battle up on the pedestals too, because Derek's like, okay, I just kind of like screwed her, and now you guys are attacking her. Let's not do this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good job for you, Derek, for being like, I just royally screwed her, and you guys we're not going to do this. So I thought that was, but fight for your, I would fight too. I'd be like Alyssa, being like, you're a liar. You're not honest. Alyssa doesn't care. No shit's given by Alyssa, and I'm here for it.
Was it Jack who called her out for Devontae? That was great.
Yeah, what about Devontae?
I was like,
Hey,
that's what Derek's like. Dude, we're all lying in here. It's the freaking snake. Shut up.
So, Jordan and Brett basically go off and conversate, and it's a long time, because the three in the pit are kind of just walking around back and forth, and they're just like, anxietied up. Alyssa's like, listen, this was supposed to be an easy pick, but now I'm like concerned because I don't know what the hell is happening here. And Jordan, you can tell that Jordan's like definitely fighting Brett a little bit here, because obviously they don't show us what they end up talking about. Maybe that's something we can talk to them about in a one-on-one later. But you can tell Jordan's like, oh my God, like listen, like just listen to me. Let's do this way. And Brett, this is probably his move of the fucking season. With he plays it off too, because he probably was leaning one way, but probably had the idea, because Jordan's pushing Alyssa so hard, where he's like, listen, if these two go, my boys are even stronger aligned to me now. So you know what? Fuck it, Jordan, have your way. I don't care. And that's literally what he says in his confessional at the end there, which I was like this.
Yep.
Me and Kristin were just like, holy shit, that was a good call on your end, because it gave it all to Jordan. The guys, maybe they'll see his bluff, who fucking knows? But I mean, they're sitting there like, damn, like you kind of let Jordan manhandle it. Well, no, Brett wanted you to lose your people so that he can have you two closer by. I loved that.
I did too. I think that was a moment, because he made it a very clear, like, I wanted something completely different. This is him, like, and he doesn't say, Derek, I wanted something different. Jack, I wanted something. So that could be for either one of them. But he's like, I wanted something completely different here. But, I let Jordan kind of take the reins. So now it's not only like I fought for this and lost, but Jordan's to blame. And now you come closer to me, because now I just got rid of your number twos. And now I'm your only number two. And I'm like, Brett, beautiful. Beautiful.
Agreed. I would argue it's maybe the best move we've seen of this season, and is setting us up for a very fun 3-versus-3 in the finale.
I agree.
Yeah, like I said, the only way it could go rogue on Brett is if he said something to Jordan there where he was like, I actually want this way, blah, 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 and she steals it, or if they call his bluff, which I guess we'll find out in the finale, because obviously Alyssa gets saved here, and it's unfortunately Amanda and McLean's final hurrah here, where they're eliminated in the semis. I feel like we both, Kristin and I know we've been watching this together. I feel like we both at one point said we could definitely see one of those two winning at a certain part of this season. So it was interesting to see them go here. I think their winner's edit kind of started dying off, so it was understandable at this point of the season. But I mean, what were you guys' thoughts in their games leading up to here? Do you think it was pretty much dead in stone, or do you think they kind of got screwed, hosed here?
Lindsay?
Referencing what you said earlier, Kristin, Amanda didn't have enough people in the game. She mostly only had Derek, but I was so cheering for her and all the things she had going. So it's very sad to see her go. McLean seems like such a sweetheart, and her and Jack were so strong one-on-one. So I was like, okay, like Jack is always going to pick McLean. McLean's always going to pick Jack. So and everybody loves McLean. So I thought she set herself up well. And I thought it was very sweet to watch the two of them walk out hand in hand, arm in arm together. And sad to see you both go.
Yeah, I mean, I think, McLean said it herself. She's like, at least I didn't get the money, but I got a boyfriend. I mean, we need to know the tea. Are you guys still together? But I think with the thing about Mac is she's one of those people that she's not in the forefront, right? So she was one that I'm like, she wanted to watch. Like, is she going to pull like some craziness at the end here and win this? And then Amanda was also one that we could see very early on. She's a very smart person, very calculated. So we were waiting for that moment. So for this to kind of end up this way, shocked but not shocked. Like I'm kind of indifferent. I didn't feel solely that they were going to win versus they were going to definitely lose. So I was kind of indifferent at this. I'm not sad either way. I think we've got a great final 6 going into this. So I'm not hurt that these are the 2 that went out tonight. I mean, sorry. I love you guys, Amanda and Mackley. I love you, but I would have probably been a little bit more devastated if we had a different situation here.
I agree. And I think it's fun to have the 3 versus 3. So sorry, McLean and Amanda, you had to be the people to leave for us to set up the finale.
Yeah. Well said, yeah. I mean, we basically see the finale, like, commercial, whatnot, sneak peek. And, I mean, I guess we're getting a jury, ? I mean, they all pop back out, and they're like, yo. I'm like, first off, how long have you motherfuckers been sitting in these boxes? And second off, I mean, first off, I have zero idea how they're going to do this finale with these 6 left, but watching a jury pop out leaves me actually more in question of how the hell they figure out who wins this thing.
Well, yeah,
or if it's not a jury, or they just pull her on our leg. I literally have zero idea now. Like, it confused me more.
The thing that makes me like, obviously you can't like leave it with the snake because, like, you know what I mean, this is being like 5 more episodes, right? So they obviously would have to. I thought maybe a finale would be like 3 of them, maybe 4 of them competing for the fight, and then they would just win snake, and they would win, right? Like, I thought it might be like a series of challenges. I don't know. I don't know why they're here. This is Jim Jeffries now saying he's whipping them out. Like, there's no more snake sticks. He's whipping out actual players. And I don't know why they're here. I don't know how we're going to get to a winner. I really wish there was like some idea, like, so we could be like, but I kind of love that we don't have any idea. Like, I'm really just lost. Right now.
I agree. And if it is a jury, does that mean that Amanda just joined? Does it mean McLean just joined? Are we going to have a jury of 5 if that's what it is? We didn't get any preview on an advantage or disadvantage, so that makes me kind of think it's a jury, but I really don't know.
Yeah, I've been trying to speculate. I like gave my few opinions. Like, I felt like it could have been like, if anyone's watched The Circle, I almost thought it could end up like that, where they kind of rank each other or like pick who they think the best player was or something, and they, decided between themselves. I also thought kind of like maybe they do like some fast, like maybe it's a 2-hour episode and they just fast forward the hell out of it, and there's like 2 more snakes happen, and there's like this final challenge that decides it. I have no idea, but I did not ever expect them to bring people back, which I think they're only bringing back the people that started it off with our pastor boy at the first person who was able to give an advantage, disadvantage, because I didn't see anyone else before him kind of pop up there. So maybe it is some sort of jury where they kind of have an opinion. I don't know.
The only thing that I thought, which would be kind of interesting, is if we do have like one last snake, right? Mm-hmm. And so like it kind of goes tonight where it's another double where we have a snake and then we get, 3 people on the pedestal, including the snake, and then 3 in the pit. And then that snake having that last choice to have a final 4. And then this is where they come in and maybe jury. And maybe they vote somebody out, like they do their own set of like rankings where they, so now we're at a final 3.
I like that.
But again, I'm like, I don't know where we go from 3 though, or even 2, like if we're at 2. But that would be fun to see them do their own rank. Like they all vote secretly their ranking of who of those last finals where they should be. And then that's how they're chosen, like that's how the new snake is chosen. I don't know.
I think that'd be really fun.
You know, like a Hell's Kitchen-esque, like when they like people go around to each of the tables and they like vote on their like out of 10 or whatever. That's like how I'm envisioning kind of something like that happening.
Karma points.
It'll be fun. I have no idea. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that's as much speculation as a finale as I can give, but I think the last question we need to kind of talk about is who the hell do we think's winning? Period. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I always try to find some sort of winners at it, and I've been talking to Kristin about this, and I know we mention him almost every episode, but God, is it just feeling like a Frankie win for some reason? I don't know. And honestly, Brett just made me start to think that he has a slight chance now. I mean, who do you guys think's like kind of doing the best? Like maybe not even winner because we don't know how it's chosen, but who do you think's just playing the best game right now?
Lindsay, you start.
I'm not saying who I think is playing the best game, but playing the most interesting game my heart is cheering for is Derek. And
Okay.
Amanda, you've been my winner pick for the last few episodes. And so I guess I think I'm going to go now with Frankie at this point because I think there's other people that maybe are starting to drop off the edit. But how about episode, Brett?
Austin, you go first. You always are going last. You go before me.
Yeah, that's fair. So I think I'm going to give you guys like my list. Actually, because I have the 6.
We have a list. All right, let's.
Wait, do we have to rank them?
No. You guys can do however you want. I'm just gonna kind of shout out who I think least likely to most likely at this rate, just based off of what I've been watching. All right. I know this one's probably a little more controversial, but I definitely have Jack at the bottom. I almost feel like he's gotten a death edit. I know there's certain people that kind of get these type of edits where they've been just kind of plateauing, and I almost feel like Jack was like there was moments I thought Jack was winning this entire thing. Now I think Jack's kind of like he's gonna lose. I think just mostly because McLean just went home and he really only has one person left. I think at this point in the game, if you only have one person left, and if they're still playing snake rules, he's almost getting a death sentence. So I'm low on the Jack edit. If he wins, bro, like hell yeah, dude. Like you surprised the fuck out of me, honestly. Shit, man. 2 or at the second to bottom, I honestly have Derek, honestly. I don't see a Derek win. I mean, he's played a good fucking game because he got put in a terrible spot about episode 4, I'd say, where I mean he was going home. I mean, let's be honest, and he got saved by the goddamn grace of Pastor fucking I'm not bringing that back, but our boy basically throws it away and Derek literally gets saved by the gods, literally. So I mean, if he wins, he did a great fucking job, but the other 4 have a higher chance for me. And then honestly, I think it's like a Brett, Alyssa like kind of rotation here for me. Like they both probably sit at the same chance for me. It kind of like really shined very moments like very sporadically was kind of just there, right? And then you kind of got Jordan jumped for me, honestly. Like I could see Jordan or Frank winning. Like those are like where I'm at, kind of like Jordan's kind of had that like I wouldn't say edit. Like she's kind of just had the game where was good, and then just almost lost her game, and then just kind of grinded back to the top. Because I mean, let's be honest, I think everyone kind of likes her. That's kind of left, so that's where I'm kind of at. That's where I'm kind of leaning to. It's possibly Frankie, it's possibly Jordan, but I would not be surprised if Brett or Alyssa won. The other 2, I will be fucking shocked. That's kind of where I'm at.
So for me, I don't think it's been any secret. I, of course, want Frank to win. I love Frank. I've been a huge fan of Frank. I've brought him up repeatedly, just like all of us have. And so I want Frank to win. I do think he has a great chance of winning. He has done the social work. He's done the legwork. I also said, gosh, like maybe like episode 3 for us, I was like, the way that we keep getting blindsided every because we get this random information thrown in last minute that we're like, when did that conversation happen? I'm like, are they setting us up for a winner like this that comes out of nowhere? And if you guys remember, Jordan was literally sitting on a couch and I didn't even know her. So I do think that Jordan would be one that would be like one that like came out of nowhere that we're like, what? But like she is starting to get a little bit more traction. The other two things that I have thoughts on here is this was a very big episode for Brett and Derek. And we have kind of seen them on, like, we've seen them around. Obviously, they've been kind of in the groupings, but not so much at the forefront. And is this the last slide of, like, remember, like, you guys thought they weren't there, but then we, like, threw them in episode 9, and then they became the winners? So I could see a Brett or a Derek winning this, too. So that's where my thoughts are. Is it going to be a complete blindside? Is it going to be like we threw in it, like, last minute episode 9 and gave you who the winner was? Or is it going to be the winner all along kind of situation? So,
I mean, I like that analysis because, look, don't get me wrong, Derek. I've been seeing your stories, and you're a Chicago Bears fan, so I'm already like biasly pushing you down because go Lions, right? But you've been killing it, dude. So I'll be excited for any of you, honestly, because you guys have all played a good game. But I mean, I think that's kind of where we end this episode for the semis. I mean, is there any hot topics we want to bring up before we close this out?
yes.
Bring it up.
We have not assigned a duo. You briefly mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to put out my thoughts on who the duo should be, and I think it should be Brett and Derek. I think Brett and Derek should be the duo. I'm so sorry, Alyssa and Frank. Don't hate me. But I'm throwing them that they're not even actually a duo, but they had such the highest, like, I think, episode for them thus far that I'm going to make them a duo, and I'm going to make them the duo of the episode.
I'm also going to vote with Kristin.
That's fine.
Honorable mention to Jordan fighting for a girl, Alyssa.
That is a good duo.
You know what? I'll let you guys have that duo. I think the only other duo I was gonna provide is the obvious double-headed snake, but you know what? I'll do a Brett and Derek. So congratulations, you two. You guys get the duo of the week. We voted on this time, so everyone had a hand in this pot. I'll give it to you guys. You guys kind of are a duo in a way. So I mean, we'll give it to you. Any other hot topics before we close it out?
No.
All right. So that is it for episode 9. I will, like always, close my book, and we will head on. Because next week is our last week of the snake, and I am excited to see how the hell this turns out. Where can we find everybody? I am on Foate the Go. College football starts this weekend, so I'm ready. Watch out because I'll be making some posts if you're into it. Lindsay, where can I find you?
You can find me at Lindsay Harper on Instagram, and you can also look for me for college football posts, but only in my personal stories. But Austin and I are setting up ourselves for a big match in a couple of weeks, so maybe we'll jump on and talk about that.
Oh boy, yes, Michigan versus Oklahoma. My God, that's gonna be something. Oh, Kristin, where can we find you?
Nowhere around college football because Austin and I can't ever talk about it because we have a moment. But you can find me at Mom of Two Warriors on Instagram, or the blatantly obvious one that we make a joke about every freaking episode, the Giant Vanquish online reality games. You can check us out. We'll be having traders this weekend, so come check us out. But yeah.
It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good. Okay. Anyway, yeah, whatever.
But that's it from us, y'all. We are gonna be back next week for the finale on the after show. Take it easy, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.